Sorry, what?
Margin is the one that you spread on sandwiches. Is that
Margarine.
margin? Okay. Uh, maybe 28 and mm, and
Difficult, isn't it? Well, you think I'll see if Karen needs some help. Karen, what shall I write on here for you?
For me, it is 40. 40.
40?
40.
Uh-huh.
Mario?
Mario.
Yes.
Okay.
Number one. And attitude?
Attitude.
Yes, attitude. And margaritas.
Okay, good. Jose, did you think of a fifth thing? Difficult to think,
yeah, I
isn't
think
it?
musicals.
Uh-huh. Musicals, great. Okay. Now, what happens now is that it's similar to a find someone who is that you speak to as many people as you can, um, and you show each other your slides, and you try and guess what the significance
I'm
of
sorry,
these is.
but my internet connection is
Okay. So we're going to mingle like we did last time. Okay. But I'd like you to show each other your stars. You should have access to this if you screen share your slides, and try and guess what the significance is of these things. So, for example, Labrador, I guess it's your pet, right? Your beloved pet. And see if you can find something in common with your partner. Algo in común, right? See if you can find something in common. Did anything surprise you, okay, about the people you meet? So you're going to go into the breakout rooms. You can move from room to room. I've double checked that you can do this time. So I'll give you like 10 minutes just to try this activity out. See how well it works. Yeah. Let's begin. Diana with Jose and Karen with Lily.
Okay, thank you.
Did you hear anything that surprised you?
Mm. Yes, I think yes.
What did you hear that surprised you?
And the Italian food, because Liliana likes Italian food. And what else? Maybe that's it. I can see this, Liliana. And and her age, 26.
That was surprising.
Yes, because she is younger than me. I am free.
Yeah.
And because and she can play the piano because I can't play the piano. That
Uh,
was maybe the most surprising thing about her. She can play the piano.
uh,
And she started to play it when she was 7 years old. And that's it, I think.
Did anyone find anything in common with their partner? Anything in common? Algo en común? Uh,
I have a cat and I love.
ah. You're both cat lovers. Yes. I understand that one. So it's easy to adapt and operate this activity. I think that's the big thing that there's big advantage. I would say it's easier to do in the face-to-face classroom than in the online. As you can see, there are a few little technical issues. But in the classroom, in the face-to-face presential, all you need is stars, paper stars, yeah? Very easy. And it's easy to give feedback. At the end, you simply ask if anyone heard anything that surprised you or found anything in common. Yeah. A variety of this. You could have like the different facts on sticky notes and get the students to find photographs and put them on Jamboards on these whiteboards like this. Okay, so this is information about me. Can you guess what these numbers represent?
Mm.
18. Shall I move the photograph and see if it gives you a clue?
I think number 2 is about the children you have. 2 children.
Yeah, here are our children.
Okay.
El Perijo y Gatijo.
Ah.
There is only 2. But we've only got one child and he's 18, yeah? So that was what 18 represents.
His age.
18.
18.
18.
I think you've been married for 21 years, maybe.
Good guess, yes.
21 years, okay.
Yes.
And
What could the other 2 represent?
number 2, the other 2.
Maybe that you lived in 2 countries.
More than 2 countries.
Okay.
But look at the flag here.
Because you have lived in Mexico for 2 years.
No,
No?
longer. 26
Longer?
years.
26 years.
That's the reason I'm holding this carta this letter of naturalization, Carta de Naturalización. So, how many nationalities do I have?
Two nationalities.
29 nationalities, yeah.
Okay.
And here is a picture of my diploma. Masters of Education. So 2015, what could that be?
Okay.
So when I got my master's degree, right?
In 2015.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. All right. So that's a variety. That's a variation on the STAR activity. Now I think what we'll do is have a very different sort of activity, which is called tongue twister. So I'm going to put you into two groups. I'm going to read out the tongue twister, trabalenguas, right? And you have to put the words in order after I've read them, yeah? So I'm going to read the tongue twister a couple of times, and you've got to put the words in order. All right, so Karen, Diana, so Karen and Diana, you're going to work on this slide here, and the other slide. Let's change this. It's not Lily. Martha. What was I? It's the same link as before. Let me just give it to you again in case you lost it. There you go. So I'm going to read it to you a couple of times. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. So if Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? One more time. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Okay, I'll put the message into the chat. So there's the correct version.
And then this here. I can't move them. Pero pues.
Good. So now I'm going to put you into breakout rooms, and I'd like you to practice with your partner, saying it as fast as you can, but as accurately as you can. Now, at the end of the, you'll notice that the ed ending, so pickled,
Pickled.
okay, that has a pickled. So it's a difficult sound, isn't it, for Spanish speakers, right? Because we're not used to having so many consonants together. So it's pickled, cold, cold. And picked. So that's a kt sound. Kt, picked. Huh? And peck, simply.
Is it pepper or piper?
Pepper. And it's piper.
Peter Piper. Peter Piper.
Yeah. So that's just a k sound at the end.
Piper.
Okay. So I'll put you into breakout rooms, and I'd like you to practice just for a few minutes with your partner.
Okay.
Three minutes should be enough.
Mhm.
Our teachers. So yes, it's a concert. And what about this one on the left here?
It's a film. It's a movie, actually. It's a movie.
Cinema?
It is. It's like it wasn't turned into a movie, yeah, but originally it was a romantic novel. Yeah. English anyway. All right, so I want you to think about these 5 activities, like going to a musical, going to the cinema, going to a classical concert, going to a rock concert, and reading novels. Which do you never do? So if you never do it, then you mark it 1. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been to a musical, so I will mark 1. Go to a rock concert, however, maybe more frequently than 3. If you do it all the time, like going to the cinema, I guess it's very common in Mexico. Go to this, so you'd mark number 4. Okay, so I'm going to give you each a
Mm.
All right, so that was the tongue twister. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yes.
I did it. Mm.
So it's what the value of this, it doesn't require much preparation. And it gets students warmed up using English at the start of the lesson, doesn't it?
Mhm. Mm.
Sometimes you can find tongue twisters that have a similar theme to the topic of the lesson. Now, I'm going to show you the next one is called How often do you do these activities? All right. So I'm going to show you a bit of a video from a lesson. Yeah. Because it's difficult to demonstrate it with you. So I'm going to show you this video simply. And it's from a lesson. It's an intermediate speaking lesson, speaking skills lesson. So just watch it and try and figure out what is the purpose of doing this activity. All right. So the students are all intermediate level. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 students. All right. So I want you to think about these 5 activities, like going to a musical, going to the cinema, going to a classical concert, going to a rock concert, and reading novels. Which do you never do? So if you never do it, then you mark it 1. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been to a musical, so I would mark 1. Right. Go to a rock concert, however, maybe more frequently, like 3. Yeah. If you do it all the time, like going to the cinema, I guess it's very common in Mexico to go to the cinema, so you'd mark number 4, right? Okay, so I'm going to give you each a slide. So slide 1 is going to be, I'm going to have Ebet there. Slide 2 is Monique. Slide 3 is Enrique. No, sorry, that's slide 4. Okay. Slide 5. I'll give it to Samantha. Slide 6. Anemia. Slide 7. Sorry, slide 8. Vilma. I think we're just missing 1 person, right? And that is going to be Sylvia.
Excuse me, did you already share the link? Just
I'm
the
going
link?
to send the link right now. Here
Okay.
comes the link. Okay.
Thank you.
Are you ready? Coming now. Please give me the thumbs up to confirm you have it. Go to your slide and mark How common are these for you? Give me the reaction from up, if possible. Tell me. Thank you. All right, let's check how you're getting on. Enrique, did you have any problems getting into the slides?
Yes, I don't have access. Just one moment, please.
Okay.
And what is the
Do you
link?
have
I can't find
a
it.
computer, or are you doing it on a tablet?
I on the computer, but I don't have access. Just one moment.
Okay. All right, so
Teacher, and where can I
I bet is a
find
bit
the
like me.
link?
He never goes to
I can't.
musicals, but oh, he goes to classical concerts. Never reads novel. Karen, you're not participating. You're just watching, yeah?
Me?
There's no link.
Because I couldn't get a link.
No, there's no link. You're just
Yes,
watching.
I
No,
just write my answers.
No, you're not participating. No estás participando. You're just
Oh.
watching this activity, yeah?
Okay.
Then I'm going to ask you what is the purpose of this activity? All right? So just watch it a little bit longer, okay? Patience,
Okay.
please. Huh. I do actually quite frequently read novels, so I would say almost all the time. Number 4 right now. Quite into novels at the moment. Going to a classical concert, 3 would be Samantha. Quite often, but never goes to rock concerts. Welcome, Elisa. Good to have you with us. Now, we've been talking about how frequently you do these things. Vilma never goes to rock concerts. Is that right?
No, I have never.
You've never been to a rock concert. You've never been to, like, not even a small one. Doesn't have to be Corona Capital. Yeah. All right. So we're going to come back to this later. Okay. Now, we are going to listen to someone talking about something they have read or seen recently. Right? And you're going to complete a Google form as you listen. Okay. For each person, you've got to say, what are they talking about? So you've got to write 2 answers. Now, the first one is a woman, and the second one is a man. So you'd say, woman, blah, 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 man, Do they like it or not? Yeah. I think you'll find that they either don't like it, both of them, or both of them like it. What were the strong points of what they read or saw? What were the weak points of the book or the thing he saw? Have you read any of these things? Do you agree or not? Would you like to see or read them? Okay, so I'm going to share with you the Google Doc right now. Please tell me when you have access. Click on there. You have it? It's great. Thank you. Welcome, Elisa. Can you hear me? You're just in time to join in, right? So we're going to listen and answer this Google form. Starting now.
Module 6. Recording 5. 1.
I'd like to talk to you about a book that I just read while I was on holiday, and it's called Behaving Badly, and it's by an English writer called Isabel Wolf. Her stories are always about women, and women in their 20s in London at the moment, which is why I like them. This book stars a lady called Rose, who is actually a pet therapist. It's a love story, and it's about how Rose has been having a bit of a hard time with men, and how slowly she meets somebody and rebuilds her confidence and falls in love again. The book's very, very, very easy to read, and one thing I really liked about it was the humour. It's written with it's just got so many lines in it that are really witty, and they make you laugh out loud. A weak point about it could be that the story is possibly a little bit predictable. I'd recommend it to anyone who likes to really switch off when they read. So it was great for holiday. It was nothing too challenging. It was just pure escapism.
Okay, so that was a different sort of activity, wasn't it, to the ones we looked at earlier? So the question was, how often do you do these activities? And the students had to mark how often they would read a novel. Or go to a rock concert. And listen. What was the other one? Listen to. Any listening? No, read novels, go to a musical. Musical, etc. Yeah, and it was So, what is the purpose of this activity?
Like to get to know the interest of the other classmates and to see what they
Uh-huh.
are into, and also to like get in context a little bit with the listening that's going to be on the exercise.
Excellent, yeah. So get to know what the interests of the students are. Yeah, from the teacher's perspective, but then I can know what the interests are, right? And it also helps to prepare them for the listening. Because they're going to be listening about people who are talking about
Books.
about books, about going to a rock concert or watching a film. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what we call, do you know what the technical term for this sort of introduction is?
No.
It's called a lead-in. Yeah. Lead-in. Yeah, it's just basically an introduction to the lesson, isn't it? Yeah. Which is somewhat different to what we saw earlier. Right. So now I think we can look at some differences between these types of activities. Because there are the terminology, and it's TKT terminology, this, yeah? Some términos que utilizamos en TKT, okay? So, icebreakers, warm-ups, and lead-ins. So, what is the nature of an icebreaker? Well, this is an activity with which teacher and learners know about each other. It's usually carried out the first lesson of a course. Or sometime in the first lessons, right? What's the purpose? Well, we want the students to get to know each other and for the teacher to know the learners. The purpose is to create a positive environment. It's to establish the use of the second language in the classroom. And sometimes when a course is too long or the class is quite large, icebreakers can be carried out after several weeks if students have not yet had the chance to get to know each other. Does that make sense, that definition of an icebreaker?
Yes.
Karen, Lily?
Yes.
Yes.
Jose?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. All right, then on to a warm-up. This is a short activity, usually no longer than 2 minutes, with which the teacher starts a lesson before formally setting the first activity. The purpose is to establish the use of the second language in the classroom. What does L2 mean?
Second language.
Yeah, so is that Spanish or English for you guys?
English.
English.
English, right. And the purpose is to create a positive environment. So which of those activities that you saw earlier do you think would be the warm-up?
So the warm-up would be like answering or rating which activity they do the most.
Mm-hmm.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
I think the tongue twister.
Tongue twister, yeah, because it's kind of a fun activity. Get them using L2, create a positive environment, because people automatically sort of start laughing, don't they, when they struggle with this tongue twister. Yeah, so I think out of those four, the tongue twister is more like a warm-up.
Mm, because it is no longer than 5 minutes. That is a reason, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. But it's also to get them using L2 and in a fun way, right?
Mm, mhm.
And then a lead in.
Oh, okay.
This is a transition between activities. It's not formally an activity, but like a procedural step. It can be a sentence or a word or phrase written on the board to elicit ideas from the students. A drawing for students to guess. A picture the teacher shows to introduce a topic. It's usually to make the end of or beginning of an activity seamless. It's usually to go from one activity to the following one smoothly. So wouldn't you? This one is the one I just showed you. That's the lead in. It's the saying how frequently you do these activities because it leads in. Conduce a, right?
The next activity.
To the next activity, right? Which is the listening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so that's the lead in. We've talked about the warm-up. What about
like as a transition?
Yeah, it's a transition into the lesson, really. And so you might say the getting to know you or icebreaker would be the star activity or what was the first one we did? Find someone who?
Yeah,
This
fine.
would be an icebreaker, right? Because
The
then
stars, it can be. The
star, but both star and getting to know you would be this icebreaker, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you're helping to know about each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So
I've got a question.
yeah.
The icebreakers, we only use them on the first day of the course,
Right.
and the warm up and lead in, they must be on every lesson.
Well, certainly you need a lead in.
Okay.
And very often a warm-up would be appropriate as well, right? Depending how you've got to sometimes judge how you feel your students are feeling, yeah? If it's like a Monday morning and they're looking depressed because they have an English lesson, well, maybe a warmer would be appropriate. It would be a good idea to have a warmer, right? But you don't necessarily have to have a warmer every class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it depends on the dynamics, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can be you're the best judge of that as the teacher, aren't you? All right. So let's just have a look at this. This is on our handbook again.
Mm-hmm.
And small groups discuss the suggestions in the box to start a lesson and say, which ones would you like to put into practice? Why? Which ones would take more than 5 minutes, especially if you're new to teaching? Which ones you're not convinced would work well to start a lesson? Okay, so which page is this? Page 29. Yeah, of the handbook. Can you just confirm that you're looking at this page in your handbook, because you're going to go into breakout rooms to discuss these questions. All right. Can you confirm that you have this material?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, I have it.
no
Yes,
problem.
I have it.
I do
All right.
too.
Okay, I'm going to give you like 10 minutes then to discuss, read through this. But let's just check. There's no unknown words, difficult words for you. Coax. Coax means to gently persuade. Persuade gently.
Okay.
A riddle. A riddle. It's like I think the Spanish word would be acertijo. Yeah.
Riddle.
Have any of you read the book The Hobbit?
No.
Or
I don't.
no, no.
I haven't.
It's just in the book or the film The Hobbit. The character Gollum asks Frodo, the Bilbo Baggins, a riddle, right? As a little test. Yeah. Can any of you think of an example of a riddle? It could be in Spanish or English. Just give me an example of what a riddle is.
Adivinanza.
Okay, adivinanza, but can you give me an example of a riddle? Here's an example. I'm tall when I'm young, and I'm short when I'm old. What am I?
I don't know.
No one can guess?
Can you repeat it?
I'm tall when I'm young, and I'm short when I'm old. What am I?
I don't know.
A candle. Una vela.
No.
Ah,
That's right.
What gets wet while drying? What gets wet while drying?
Like a towel or
A
a
towel, yes, yes. Okay, so that's a riddle. Say something provocative or controversial. Provocative or controversial, polemico, right? Tease someone. Tease, to tease. Any idea what that
like
means?
to bother.
Yeah, does it have a positive sense? Teasing someone?
No.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like saying things like chino, japonés, that sort of thing, yeah? Yeah, so it's to make fun or attempt to provoke. The positive sense is it's playful. The negative sense, it could be pesado, right? It could be nasty. So you have to be careful, yeah? Get learners to report back on their homework, question learners about topical issue, request advice. Just number 13, just stand or sit silently in front of the class and wait for a response. Do you think that's a good idea?
No,
Right.
I think so.
Not really. Praise individual learners or the whole class on their progress. Tell some good news and some bad news from your life and ask learners to do the same. Okay, so I'll put you into breakout rooms so you can discuss them. Do you think they're a good idea, those activities? So Diana and Jose, Karen, Lily, and Maria. give you about
Mhm.
9 minutes should be enough.
15. Ask if learners can remember what you did in the last lesson.
Let's have a bit of feedback on this. So, so which ones would you put into practice, or would you like to put into practice? Anybody? Open.
I say set a riddle. I really like that one.
Yeah.
I think it would be a good warm-up. And also I put ask if the learners can remember what you did in the last lesson, so you can check that, what what they can remember, and if there was something kind of that outstand in our, I don't know how to say it, maybe something that was kind of memorable about the previous lesson.
Yeah. That would be useful. Yeah. What about the rest of you? For A, any ideas?
On A, I wanted to put in practice. I think it's a good way to start, or it's like a basic activity, like asking them to explain something so that I can see like what are their thoughts about some specific topic, and also ask something about last lesson also to see like what they can remember, how good they caught the idea that I wanted to teach.
Right. Which ones would take more than 5 minutes, especially if you're new to teaching?
I chose that it will take more than 5 minutes to report back on their homework, depending on how many students they are. But like focusing on each homework, I think would definitely take more than 5 minutes. And also maybe if I get them to explain something to me, like they can take also a little while, like trying to find the words or trying to portray their specific idea.
Interesting, yeah. And what about, go ahead. Any
I wrote
contribution?
number 10 and 11 question learners on what they think about some typical issue. And 11 explain something to me like Diana. I think that that activity can take more than 5 minutes.
And I think also number 1, right? Grade learners individually.
Yes,
Also
that's it.
depends on the, the amount of students that you have. Because
yes,
if you have like 20 or 30, it would take a lot of time.
too much time, yes.
Exactly.
Number 1, yes.
And which ones are you not convinced would work well to start a lesson?
I think number 7.
Just
Which one?
stand there and sit there silently.
Number 12, request advice about something. I don't think that is a good idea. No.
Also comment on students' appearances.
And talk to the students about our lives, about our personal lives.
Yeah.
Number 15. What is 15, 14, 17?
Yeah.
And teach somebody about something that is not a good idea.
Not usually, is it? No. Good. Okay. Just a couple more things, and I think we're on schedule to finish at 1 o'clock. So what reasons are there for doing introductory activities such as warmers, breakers, and icebreakers and lead-ins? This is just a little review. Karen, could you read the part about warmers?
Okay. The letter A.
Where it says we use warmers. Yeah.
Okay, what reasons are there for doing introductory activities such as warmers, icebreakers, and lead-ins? We use warmers to give the class more energy at the start of a lesson. The next point is relax students at the start of a lesson. Then encourage students to communicate with each other.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Deanna, could you read icebreakers?
Yes. We use as icebreakers to provide an opportunity for students to get to know each other, provide an opportunity for the teacher to get to know students, encourage a good rapport between the students and the students, between the students and the students and the teacher.
Great. And Lily, lead-ins.
Yes, we use lead-ins to prepare students to work on text or main task, create interest in the topic, personalize a text, provide an opportunity for students to bring their knowledge and experience to a text or topic, provide an opportunity to study some new key language needed for the next or main task.
Right. Okay, now the last activity we'll do is to an example task from the TKT, right? Just to show you that this is relevant to the TKT. Yeah. Sometimes you might think, why are we doing this? What relevance does this have to TKT? So you'll see that the terminology that we've just been looking at is useful. So for the exam, please look at the last page of the handout that I sent you in the chat. Right? And it's the one with this, it's got the questions there, and at the end here is a sample task from the TKT exam module 1. Okay, and it says, Jose Manuel, could you read the instructions for us, please?
Yes. It is for questions 1 to 6, match the teacher's actions with introductory activities and presentation techniques for different lessons listed A to G. Mark the correct letter A to G on your answer sheet. There is one extra options you do not need to use.
Okay, so I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to do this. At the end of the 5 minutes, I'd like you to send the answers through the chat. Right, to the whole group. Okay, so the 5 minutes starts now. So you've got to match the letters A to G with the numbers. And it's all about introductory activities and presentation techniques. Starting now. please go ahead and send your answers through the chat. Everyone got the first one right. It's good. Although there's variation in the second answer. People seemed unsure about that one. 3, yes, is also 3. So a few differences. Okay, so here are the official answers, all right? So number 1 is setting the scene.
Mhm.
Uh,
Let me see.
it seems like a variation of a lead-in, doesn't it? Now,
Yeah.
getting the students to repeat after her is drilling.
Really?
Yeah?
Mm.
Drilling. Now, if you're not sure what drilling is, you can check. Where can you check?
In the glossary?
In the glossary. Please do use the glossary, yeah? And if we look in the glossary, we can see a drill is a sort of repetitive mechanical sort of activity.
Really?
And it says a technique that teachers use to provide learners with practice of language. It involves guided repetition of words or sentences. Yeah. And there are about 4 types. There's a choral, individual, substitution, and transformation drill. Yeah. So you can read that later at your leisure. Going back to the activity now. Teacher checks whether the students understand when the new language is used. Is concept checks, asking concept questions. And there's a definition of that as well in the glossary. Concept check, asking questions.
Warmer.
Concept checking is a question asked by the teacher to make sure that the students understand the meaning of new language.
Concept checking.
So teaching the new grammatical structure used to, using the example, he used to live in Paris. Concept check question. Does he live in Paris now? Answer, no. Because it's in the past, right? It's a past habit, but it doesn't necessarily mean he continues to live in Paris. Next one. Teacher does a short game with the students to give them energy. I think most of us got, it was warmer. Yeah. Teacher, you ask the students for different examples of different kinds of fruit and writes them on the board. That would be eliciting. Eliciting, yes.
Eliciting.
Of course, there's a definition. Eliciting. It's a teaching technique. It's when the When a teacher thinks that some learners know a piece of language or other information, he asks targeted questions or gives clues to get or prompt them to give the target language or information, rather than simply providing it to the class, his or her himself. For example, the teacher is teaching words for different vegetables. He shows learners a picture of a carrot and says, "What's this?" He does this because he thinks some of the learners might be able to say it's a carrot.
Mm.
That's eliciting.
Mm.
All right, next. Teacher does an action which shows the meaning of a new word.
Miming.
Miming, yeah. Yeah,
That
like
was one of the easiest.
waving, yes? That's one of the easiest things to get across, isn't it? Good.
I didn't have an idea about drawing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of terminology, yeah? So
Yeah.
always have the glossary ready.
Mm.
Yeah. The more familiar you get with the glossary, the better. It will prepare you for the exam.
Mm.
Okay, guys, I think that's enough for today. It's been it's 4 hours is quite a long session, isn't it? Next week, Gloria might take the full 5 hours, so I think it's let's start on an easier way today, because maybe next week or the week after you'll have to do the full 5 hours. So I think we can finish there. I would recommend that you do work on the platform today, if you have time. That will make up your 5 hours if you do this introduction to the course, yeah? So spend some time today, if possible, getting to know the Neo platform and doing maybe this first unit if you haven't done it already. And then you can begin with describing language and skills. Vale?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We're good with that? Okay.
Okay.
Que tengan una bonita tarde.
You too, Andrew. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.
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 Bye.